Photoshop selection. I'm Jenny from Zell Studio. Okay, Photoshop selections are so important. No matter what you are doing with Photoshop, you always need to make selections. Photoshop offers powerful selection tools, and there are so many of them. So today, I'm talking about the major 9 ways doing Photoshop selections, and more importantly, how to choose the right one for you. To save your time, I prepared a quick quiz. You can find it through the link in the description box. Just go there. You can find just a few questions about your image and about your expectations, and it will give you the right answer. It's just that simple. Let's start from the simple ones. Okay, the first one is the Magic Wand tool. It's right here. Second in the box. If you want to quickly switch from other two to Magic Wand, you can use the shortcut W. Just press W and you got it. Magic Wand tool is the easiest and the most convenient tool of all to make Photoshop selections. It just requires one click. So let me turn on this image. So I have the tool right now, and then click on this gray color area, and I got a selection. Magic Wand tool is really good at selecting a flat color areas like what I have right now. It's not that good with dealing with multiple colors, and it's not going to be perfect with complex edge, but it's so quick, so always use the tool. There's also some settings to use to achieve the best result for Magic Wand. Tolerance is an important one. Lower the number, less pixels are going to be selected, and higher the number, more selected. So for my case, I think 30 is a pretty good number to use, and it looks good. Another setting to consider is the continuous. So if you want to select all the colors, all the same colors in the canvas, even though they're not adjacent to each other, you should not select this option. Okay, now I have the selection. You can delete it. You can see that's gonna work. Next is the magnetic lasso tool. It's here above the Magic Wand. Last one in the box, shortcut L. So this tool requires some more patience and practice. It's basically a lasso tool, but it's magnetic to color lines. So if I drag it along the edge roughly, Photoshop will determine for me the best edge I can use for the selection. So what you need is to do it slowly and patiently. I'm not doing so good here. Okay, so this tool is best used to select an area with a smooth edge like the ridgeline I have. It's not going to look so good with fuzzy edge if I use it for the tree lines. It's never going to look right. Okay, so there's also some settings to play around with the lasso tool. The width is the width of the brush you use to drag along the line. It's the width within which Photoshop are looking for an edge. The contrast is how much contrast Photoshop will determine it as a color edge. And frequency is how many anchors to place along the drag lines. So if you are working with a more complex and more detailed selection, you should use smaller widths, lower contrast, and more frequency. Quick selection shares the same shortcut with magic wand is here, first one in the box. To quickly switch from the magic wand to quick selection, you can press Shift and W to do it. This tool is kind of the combination of the magic wand and the magnetic lasso. What you do is to brush within the area you want, and it helps you to determine the area. Based on my personal experience, it's easier to use than the magnetic lasso. It can also select multiple colors at once, so it's an amazing tool. If you never used it before, you should definitely try it out. So the setting of the tool is quite simple. It's basically a brush tool, so the setting is same as other brushes, like the size, hardness, and spacing. Color range is similar to magic wand in a way that both of them determine areas based on color and tone values. However, color range is a much more advanced tool with more features and flexibilities. Okay, let's have the layer ready. And to find the tool, we go to Select Color Range. We should use the default sampled color selection and use the eyedropper tool to select the color we want to include in the selection. You can see the white is where it's going to be selected and black is not. Fuzziness determines the sensitivity of the selection, so larger the number, more pixels are going to be selected. We can also use the Add to Simple eyedroppers to pick multiple colors at once. And to use the Subtract from Sample to deselect the color we don't want. So we can play with all the settings to achieve the best we want. And OK, delete. We can see that's the selection we got. Channels can also be helpful in making selections. So for all the RGB images, Photoshop breaks them down into different channels, the red, green, and blue. So for some images, it may not have a huge contrast overall, but it may have a good contrast just in one channel. For example, the image I use have an orange foreground and a blue background. So it does not have a big contrast in red or in green, but it's doing pretty good in blue. So I can select just a blue channel, load the channel into selections, go back to the orange RGB channel, and now I have a selection to use. So it's always good to consider these options and check if it applies to your image. That's 5 ways doing Photoshop selections. Next time, I'll talk about another 4 ways, more advanced, requires more time and effort, but also provides much more flexibilities, more features for adjustment, and much better results. It's going to be fun, so please do subscribe and see you next time.